for the longest time, even in the Biden administration's plan, in the presidential working group, they barely touch algorithmic stablecoins. They said, there's this thing here, algos, we know they're more complicated. We'll get to that down the road. And a long time in Congress, too, we were having the same conversation saying, look, let's go after the biggest large market players here, the Tethers, the USDCs, just making sure we have a regulatory framework here. I will say Tether is very unpopular on Capitol Hill between both Republicans and Democrats. But USDC has been seen as a really good innovation, for example. And that's not just them, but that's one big, large example. It's been here on Capitol Hill and it's testified several times. But algos are really outside the purview. And again, most folks did not really deal with it, besides a few staffers and members of Congress until last week. I can say right now that there is a briefing that's going to be happening on the Democrat side of the aisle on what happened, what is it? And it's not with Terra, it's with a lot of folks in the stablecoin realm and those who are for stablecoins or CBDCs, and then those who are not for either. So this is the kind of perspective that Capitol Hill wants to learn more about. And I think that's a really important thing to highlight, is that Congress does take a long time to get policy passed, but they're taking a really hard look at making sure that they understand the issue fully before diving headfirst into it, which is good. And I think that should be really welcomed. We don't want to be regulating off emotions here or what happened last week. We want to make sure we have a comprehensive framework and it's bipartisan. And I can say for sure that I'm talking to a lot of offices on both sides of the aisle, and there has been some really positive steps here. I think we'll see some bills introduced pretty soon. But candidly, though, I'm not sure many are going to touch algorithmic stablecoins at the moment, because a lot of folks are still scrambling, saying, how do we regulate this? How do we regulate an algorithm? This is really complicated. We really haven't thought about this. Do we need to pause and address this down the road? They really don't know, candidly. So this is a tough position right now for Congress. And the less and less Congress acts, it gives more leeway to the regulators, which are a lot harder, more to control, but also to map out exactly what they're going to do.